Hey guys, my name is John. Welcome back to the channel. Now, have you ever seen a frame, a vintage frame that you had to have and you wanted to ride it, but you want to ride it competitively? You want to ride with your friends during the training groups and that sort of thing. Well, that's what this bike is. This is a 1992-ish Pinarello Volta, or Volta. I don't know how to pronounce it. You can tell me. Beautiful frame, and it's got a threaded steer tube, which makes me think it's earlier 90s versus the later 90s. And we're gonna put a modern group set on it. That's the idea. Let's take an older bike, an older frame that you wanna ride, that you know you're gonna enjoy, let's put a new component kit on it. Let me show you what I'm gonna put on there. What you're looking at here is a Campagnolo Centaur group. It's like 3 from the top. It's not the high-end stuff. But if you know Campagnolo, what they're doing is that they are making all their stuff mechanically the same. However, you're paying for different finishes and you're paying for different materials, such as carbon fiber. This doesn't have any carbon fiber on it. It's an aluminum kit. By the way, check out this saddle. Tell me that this isn't cool, and it's gonna match wonderfully. So I'm pretty excited about that. What else? Bar and stem, ITM. Not really familiar with it, but you know who set me up actually was Seth.w and Velo. I said, look, I'm gonna build this bike up. Here's kind of the price range you want to be in. Help me out. Came up with the whole kit. Now for wheels, Campagnolo wheels. Pretty cool. The Zondas. Now, I like to say I know all about these, but I really don't. Why? Because they're modern. This is a vintage channel. But this is what you might call a neo-retro or retro mod. We're going to talk about what that is and why people are doing them as we go on with this video. So stay tuned. Please stick with me. That's the thing about you guys. I know some of you guys have a short attention span. So stick with me. We're going to build this sucker up and have a little talk. Well, a couple years back, I did a video using this bike, and it was my most successful video by far. And it was called, Can You Put Modern Parts on a Vintage Frame? And this is a 1983 Pro Miata. And the reason I did this is I just love the frame. I remember when I was younger, riding a couple of these when I worked at a shop. So I decided to put at the time, new 2019 Ultegra kit on it. The chain is off because I'm cleaning it right now. But yeah, check out that video. It talks about things like proper bottom brackets, proper rear spacing, brake reach, seat post size, stem and handlebar choices, things of that nature. So I'll link this at the end of the video and down below. Well guys, it's my first time building a Campagnolo Centaur bike. And man, I gotta admit, this stuff is great. The way it went together is very smooth. Check out the finish on this product. Just love it. These wheels are awesome. It's an 11-speed kit. I set that up before I put this together so it looked really, really easy. But everything keys in just right. And I didn't have the correct puller until a little bit later, but we got her tightened down. And I love it. I was shocked at how light these wheels are when they're finished here. It's not a high-end group, but the bike ended up very, very light. And love the aero shape. And believe it or not, these wheels are supposed to hold me up, and I'm a big boy. You know what, guys? I already get a sense of what this thing's gonna look like. This is gonna be beautiful. Can't wait to get this baby done. Now, there's an important note when you put these cranks together. There's a bolt in between here that uses a 10mm Allen wrench to tighten down, and you're supposed to really crank this down to about 65 foot-pounds of torque, and I'm gonna get that done at the local shop. I don't have the correct torque wrench. Yeah, everything rolled together smoothly, probably because everything's new. Yeah, this front derailleur is something to be reckoned with. It's it's a modern derailleur. Now, normally when you flex that cable, or when you flex the cage forward like that, the cage would rise upwards, but not on these modern derailleurs. They don't do that. They go, directly across, and it gives you some pretty tight shifting for sure. Got some look pedals. These are modern. I have those on all my bikes, almost all of them. Now I had to size up the chain. So you're aware, Campagnolo has its own chain tool, and you're supposed to use it. I don't own one. So technically I'm screwing up these links, but I'm screwing up the ones I'm taking off. And the reason why we're doing that is I'm using a quick link. I think it's the way to go. There we go. So right now, guys, it seems to be working. Seems like the length is fine. We'll put it on a big combination and find out if I'm right. I know it had too many. We may have to take 2 more links out. We'll see. Well, guys, being a man of faith, I think it's time for a little prayer. Let's see how smooth this goes on. Oh, come on. That's too easy. That doesn't happen. That's it. Oh, come on. Look at that. Oh. Did I get lucky? I'm not scratching the living daylights out of it. It feels snug. It feels like it's the right size. All right, let's put these on. All right, guys, we're gonna grease up the wedge here. And the only reason I'm showing you that is because I want to take this time to remind you this isn't a how-to video. There's a lot of steps you're not seeing, and you guys can put them all in the comment section if you want to help the algorithms, but no, you're not seeing everything. Now, some of you notice I keep talking about how great this bike looks, and that's part of the appeal of building a neo-retro or a retro-mod bicycle, and that is you have that classic steel look, great bright colors, beautiful lugwork, things like that. And on top of that, a steel bike rides in a very unique fashion, unlike carbon fiber or aluminum. It's something to be tried. And at the end of the day too, you're getting a great value. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get a lot of good performance. You don't have to go with the new Campagnolo kit. You could find a cool frame that you want and find like maybe an 8-speed or 10-speed Campy group, or you can find some Shimano like Ultegra or Dura-Ace and put it on there from the past. Either way will work. Well, guys, here's what we got. We got ourselves a brifter installed. I don't know exactly where to put it, so I thought I'd just put the bike down and get on, but of course I can't do that without tires in the saddle, so I guess we're switching gears, no pun intended, and let's get some tires on this thing. Well, before I did that, I went out for a ride. It was a beautiful day, and I got 18 miles in. Oh, it's that time of year, boys. It's 65 degrees. North Aurora, Illinois on the Fox River. You know what I don't do enough? Just sit and relax. Never happens. Well, that's enough of that. Let's get back to the shop and work on that bike. All right, guys, it's late. Done with the bike ride. What a beautiful day for that. Let's get back on this build. Got ourselves some of these Graphene 2.0 Victorias, and you know, we'll see how they are. Decent tread. And these are, what are these, 25s. Turns out these tires are directional, so make sure you get that right. All right, I got these tubes now. They're called Ride Now. I don't know if they're any good. Let's give it a shot. Very lightweight. It's like a balloon. Hey guys, do me a favor in the comments section. Let me know what you think of these tubes. You know, it's like a balloon. It's like vinyl. I never tried them, may as well. They came with some tire sets that I bought. 36 grams. Man, this front wheel is freaking light. I mean, this is just really cool. So let's get the back one on. It's like making balloon animals. I was pretty fortunate these tires rolled on pretty well. No thumbs were injured or no blisters were had. Another thing I like about a old steel frame is you have a chain hanger that you can hang your chain on while you take your wheel off. Well, you know, I'll tell you what, I'm getting excited because now it's starting to look put together here. Let's get the saddle on. I still haven't figured out a way to gracefully show a seat getting put on, especially in the seat post. You have to balance all the parts and everything. It doesn't work. Pretty. Now I know ahead of time I got to set the saddle height at 30¼ inches from the center of the bottom bracket to the top of the saddle. Angle is up a little bit. Don't make fun of me, I'm old. All right, now I'm on the bike. I'm checking how this feels right here. How comfortable is that? Feels about right. I think we got it right. You know, guys, I'm so used to doing vintage bikes. I never ever have a cable kit. So this is kind of exciting. New cables, casings, ferrules. Not only that, look how beautiful these cables are. Not only do they not stretch, they're very shiny. Now it's time to string up the bike. A little more complicated with the aero brake levers and the brifters or the ergo shifters. It's really not that difficult. It's got to take your time. Make sure you get those cable casings at the right length, and that's not too hard. You know, run the your handlebars back and forth to make sure that you have slack, so you're not pulling on your cables if your handlebars were to turn one way or the other. But everything just snapped together really easy, and so glad it did. That's just my dog. Well, guys, we have aero cable routing. It's supposed to go in here and out here, and you know how that goes. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. Here you go, first try. All right, I'm going to move the camera here so you know it's first try. No edits. Let's see if it comes out. It might have a funnel. It might be one of those easy ones. Let's take a look. Yep, funneled easily. Easy. Super. So even though this is not a how-to video, I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to put the cable in the stop. I'm going to run it as if it's hooked up. Whoops. And then I'm going to bring it here, and it estimates where I cut it. So, I don't know what you guys think. I wish I had a professional here. I have actually built well over 2,000 or more bicycles. But you know what? This is really only my second bicycle with ergo style shifting. So there you go. I'm not going to be that YouTuber that tells you that I know everything, because I don't. But the principles are the same though, and I can handle that. I think this is where it goes. This is where I cut it. You know, hey guys, I might encourage you to try getting a steel frame. There's plenty of resources out there to figure out which frame would be right for you, whether it be a touring bike, maybe a racing bike, a sport bike. It's not hard to figure out what parts would go on them. Some of the 70s bikes are great if you want more of a gravel style feel, some of the old touring bikes. So the options are many, and there's plenty of resources. Come to my Facebook group or any of the other forums out there, and they'll help you along with your journey. Well, we're getting down to the wire, no pun intended. And yeah, let's take this thing up. We're gonna try some lizard skins. Yellow, baby, yellow! Woo! Check this out, tell me that ain't gonna be cool. Of course, I realized that when I finished taping the bar, I did not have the camera rolling. You really didn't miss much. So I guess on this side, I'll show you what I'm doing. I put the extra tape here underneath to hide the part underneath, so when you wrap it, you see yellow. Got a little extra tape there to hold it up. Some would say that tape's a little long, but actually I like a little bulge on the side underneath the hood. Chris, we'll start no, we're not gonna start the tape at the top. We'll start that on the bottom. You know, guys, the only time I start tape on the top when I have cloth or a cello tape. And when you tape this stuff up, make sure you have a little bit of overlap here at the end, as you can see, so you can put that cap in. I didn't have that even all the way around, so I have to do it again. So there's plenty of tutorials on my other builds, and you know, feel free to check those out. That's all I got for you on this video. But
But this Lizard Skins tape isn't bad. It doesn't have any side-to-side flex. And what I don't like about that is when we get up to the corners here, it tends to gather. And I hate that, but it seemed to cover up okay. And even doing the crisscross around the levers was actually pretty simple and turned out pretty good. So I'm pretty pleased with it. And of course I use the black electrical tape up top. Some people don't like that. I kind of dig it. I think it looks clean.
Now some of you guys see this and go, man, you could cut that away. I really can. But I'll be honest with you, I like a thick grip. Well, there's a joke there somewhere, cut it out. I like a thick grip when I'm holding onto the hood, so I don't mind that little extra bulk. Well, she's done. That looks beautiful. I just love that black and yellow. Some of you guys think it's gaudy, but it's okay. You could think that if you want to. Got myself my handy dandy third hand tool to finish this bike up here. We have to get all the cables strung up. When you got a new, when you put together a new bike, you got to tighten up those cables, and then you pre-stretch it like this. You're seating all of the casings. You're seating all the brake ferrule, the brake casing ferrules. So then you got to snug it up again. And guess what you got to do? You got to stretch them out again. Now you're stretching out the cables, and then you run your barrel adjuster up, and you guess what you got to do again? You got to stretch it out some more. Then I'll run the ferrules down just so there's about 2 or 3 threads left, and then I'll snug up the cable again, center the brake, and call it a day. Same thing has to be done with the derailleur cables as well. Now I've noticed these ferrules are pretty cool. They actually have little seals. That's why they're kind of hard to get the cable in. That's the trouble I'm having there. It doesn't just go in easily. And that's something new that I learned with this cable casings. And then if you're skilled like me, you could wrap the cable around the chain just like so. Yeah, great job, John. And then you have to do it all over again. But this stuff goes together like clockwork. You can see the resistance there in the ferrule, but that's just a seal so you don't get water into the casings. And I think that's a fantastic idea. And you kind of have to do the same thing you did with the brakes, and you got to tighten it up. And just like you pre-stress the other cables, you have to do that with the shift levers. And look at all the slack that I got left over. So, you just start all over again, tighten it up, and make your barrel adjustments and adjust your derailleurs. And of course, you can show off your ugly shorts when you drop a wrench. Now the stuff shifted really good right out of the box. I just had to play with the cable tension a little bit. Of course, the limiting screws. Once again, not a how-to video, but maybe if you're interested, leave it in the comment section below. We could kind of do a how-to on that. But boy, this thing shifted really well. It's very touchy. Just to the 1/8 of a turn of the barrel adjuster, that cable tension is critical. And a way to do it from there is button her up. Now, some of you know my first love are these vintage steel road bikes. Look how ornate that is. It's just gorgeous. Love the old Campagnolo components. Made in Italy, and that's the most common group set. Here's a Raleigh from 1974 from England. Beautiful bike. An Italian racer, Gios Torino. Schwinn Paramount made here in Chicago. Another Raleigh International from 1974. With Nervex lugs. And once again, those beautiful Italian parts. Just gorgeous. We even have a first generation specialized carbon fiber. Some of these brands are trying to recreate their legacy. And then for a while, some of these bike companies got into the act and they started recreating some of their 80s bikes. Now, if you're an aficionado of vintage bikes, you know it's not close, but in a way it is. The spirit's there. Look at the chrome lugs on this. Tell me that ain't cool, guys. Check that out. Chrome fork crown and dropouts. Even the bottom bracket shell is chrome on this thing. It's crazy. And this one has a Athena group on it from 2016. And that's how the bike came. And it's just a beautiful bike. So if you like steel, you can still find these as well. So coming up on the channel, we're going to take this Trek 970 from 1982 or 3, I'm not sure which one it is, and we're going to rebuild this thing. It is filthy, guys. Look at this thing. This thing was raced. I know the guy that raced it. His name was Doug, and he put some miles on this thing, but we are going to clean it up, and we're going to make it look pretty. Also coming up on the channel, we are going to put this stuff, cool stuff, pretty stuff, on a really pretty frame. Yes, tell me that won't be cool. That's gonna be fun. Hey guys, if you like this kind of stuff, please join the channel. You know, if you're looking for some hipster with black glasses and a flat brim hat and a backpack and that kind of stuff, I'm not your guy. But if you want to do some neo-retros, retro mods, vintage road bikes, that's my main thing. Please join the channel. You'll enjoy it. No bike snobbery allowed here. You can ask questions in the comment section. Also, come to my Facebook page. You can leave questions there. It's a group called John's Vintage Road Bike Garage. I'm brilliant. I came up with that myself. So please subscribe and enjoy this bicycle.